could be because they know that it was attempted before, they were caught, they were given amnesty. Could this be a go signal again if these problems are not fixed? Could this be a go signal to another batch of soldiers, of young soldiers who are idealistic and they want to fight for themselves?
You know, TJ, based on the scholarly studies of developing countries, military rebellion is always encouraged by past traditions of military rebellion. And there's also scholarly studies stating that a state that has experienced military rebellion, there's a strong likelihood that it will encounter another military rebellion in the future.
That's an awkward term. Traditional, it's a tradition to have rebellion. I mean, I can't imagine those two words sitting in the same sentence when you're talking about the military. How do you gentlemen that?
If I may address that, TJ, in our case, and I don't like to be compared always with what has prevailed in other countries. In our case, we did not see as examples the previous beneficiaries of amnesty. We, at the time when we did what we did, we acted on a certain set of circumstances which were prevailing. Now, if they would like to see this grant of amnesty as encouraging other generations of soldiers, this is what we have to say. For what has happened, we have been punished. We have served time. We have lost our careers. We've had comrades experience broken families, broken friendships. Now, they think about these consequences. And we are not saying that our cause was not justified, because we believe it was justified. They just think of these consequences, and they think if it's really worth the risk. Because we say this, it's easy to dismiss this as encouraging impunity. But then again, if we compare this to what happened, the lives lost in the coups in the 80s, and the seemingly seeming slap on the wrist that was meted to them. And I'd like to be fair when I say this. You have people dying at that time, soldiers on both sides. You have sets of punishments starting with push-ups, graduating into jail terms. And you have what happened in 2003, 2006, and 2007. Not a single life lost, no property damage, and we served far longer time, and amnesty came long, long after we have served time. You know what? There's this case still pending in Makati RTC branch 148. If ever we get acquitted, and I'm praying we get acquitted, we still have been punished already. We have served 4.5 years, 5 years, and in the case of Senator Trillanes, 7 years and still counting.
So I guess what Ace is saying is that if, for example, it warrants again, I believe it won't be asked anymore. It won't be asked anymore. Yes. As he said, the effects of what happened the past 7 years have been substantial in our lives. So with this amnesty that we've been holding for, I guess we have proven that our mantle in our principles and how we hold on to it. So I guess that's enough for us.
You're saying that you're not ruling out the possibility of happening again, but you're saying it won't be.
I guess the question should be asked to the government whether they would allow the situation to still prevail, the situation that the professor has said. As long as I guess the conditions are met, then the possibility is always there. I guess that's a question to be answered by the government, not by the soldiers.
Mr. Golez, would you like to add to that theory of how some people say it will vote or invite more military adventures?
Well, I doubt it. I don't think so. Of course, it's hard to predict what's going to happen in the future. You have to have the right elements there. Maybe an object of hate, an object of complaint, and the feeling is that the complaint cannot be alleviated using the usual channels of grievances. Then you have to have the right people who are aggressive in pushing their position and their sentiments about a certain issue. Maybe some other leaders, a national leader, department leader. In 2003, looking at how it evolved and looking at the grievances that they put forward, there was one person that was the object of their complaint in the Department of National Defense. It's not there anymore. And looking at the personalities in the current government, I do not see anyone who can evolve as such a person. So it will take a long, long time for anyone to even contemplate something like that. And then, of course, as the armed forces become more modern, as the personalities on both sides become more enlightened, I think there will be less and less chance of something like this happening again. You know, this is going to be, it should be studied and studied, how it evolved, how it transpired, what drove people to put their careers on the line, and what drove also some people to take actions that provoked these people.
Right, well, we'll move on later in a bit to how you gentlemen think what the palace intends to accomplish with this amnesty. Maybe was there something beyond the surface that you're thinking. But before that, we'll take a short break. More with our guests when we return as ANC looks beyond the first 100 days.